Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Q&A Thursday. I hope everyone's week's going well. Today's question comes from Scott, who is wondering how you can cold contact and network with people or companies who aren't necessarily hiring for the role that you want at the time. And this is a great question, right? Because I always advocate that you choose the company rather than the role when you're job searching, because if you choose the right company, you're going to have a lot more flexibility. You are going to have consistent benefits. If they pay well, you're going to make sure that you lock that in. And typically, the best companies allow you to move within the organization fairly easily. So, with that in mind, the best way to go about this is actually following the same process that you would if you were going to go after a position that they had. So, the same process that I've laid out in my No Connections article. But you actually may see that it's a little bit easier to get in touch with these people and talk to them, because if they don't have an open role on their team, they're going to be a little less wary, and it may come across as more of a networking prospect, which it really is at that point, because there is no job opening. So what you want to do, and as I've preached many times before, is just add as much value as possible. So see if you can land those meetings after reaching out cold, talk to the person, get to know them both on a personal level and a professional level, but also find out about the challenges and initiatives that they're dealing with right now or have coming up, and then try to solve for those. Again, doing your research, coming up with some solutions or suggestions, sending those over. And in this case, you have a little bit more time. I guess it depends on your timeline. If you're really crunched for your job, I'm not sure I'd necessarily recommend this strategy. You may want to go for something that's already available. But if you are in a position where you have a little bit of time, you don't necessarily need to create this amazing, epic solution set right off the bat. You can keep it casual. You can just shoot over an email. And if you have multiple solutions, you can kind of save them for multiple emails to keep the relationship going and string it out. And eventually, after you keep providing enough value, typically one of three things will happen, at least based off my personal experience and what I've seen from the people that I've worked with and talked to. So the first goes along the lines of the stat that I like to share, that 80% of jobs are not posted online or anywhere else. So what you might find is that they actually are hiring and it hasn't been posted online, or it's an up and coming role that they just haven't gotten the stuff together yet, but you're going to be fast tracked for that. If you're providing the value and building those relationships, you're going to be put well ahead of any cold candidates that are coming in, people applying online, and potentially other referrals. So one, you might find yourself with a job opening that you didn't think was there. The second is that they actually may create a role for you. I've seen this happen a couple of times where people have provided such a tremendous amount of value that the company and the people that they were talking to said, we need this person on our team. Like, we are going to be way more successful with them, and it's going to be a huge loss if they end up going somewhere else. So they build out a role specifically for that person. This is probably the least common of the three. It is a bit more rare, but it definitely is possible, and I have seen it happen. And then the third is just that you will be kept in mind by the team. So if they don't have anything available right now, there's nothing coming down the pipeline, at least you built that relationship. So when something does pop up, you're probably going to be one of the first people that they reach out to, which is fantastic. And so, in my opinion, the best time to do this is when you're in a place that feels a little bit more comfortable. If you're under the gun to find a job, it may be better to go with something, as I mentioned before, that is already out there. But I strongly, strongly recommend that you always try to network. You should make it part of your daily or weekly routine to send out emails to people, try to make connections, provide value, because networking takes time. It takes time to build relationships. They're not built overnight. And so when you do wind up in a pinch and you need, a quick fix, or you need somebody to quickly help you out, if you have that existing network already built, it's going to be so much easier for you to make the connections or get the help that you need versus trying to build that network from scratch in a short period of time. So I guess that boils down to my recommendation being start today on Q&A Thursday. Take care, guys, and we'll see you next week.